I think you can see Valtteri was looking pretty sharp out there. We're working through a program. I think there's areas that we can improve. Yeah, there's a few bits that we need to tidy up, but no, generally a reasonable day for us. So plenty of data to get stuck into. I'd say competition rather than animosity, but I thought the press conference was really reasonably harmonious, but there was not too much mudslinging. So, but look, it's a competition where it's Formula One, and it's the biggest championships. It's the biggest sport in the world, and there's the biggest trophies that we're pushing for. I don't think it is. I mean, what do you think? Bottas was over the limit? Do you think that on the first lap, do you think that Carlos Sainz was over the limit? You know, there were all incidents, similar things happened, and I think that there's so much scrutiny placed because it's the two World Championship protagonists, going for it. And I think that, Max clearly demonstrated in Mexico that you can pass around the outside. He made a clean, pass into turn one around the outside. I think what you had in Brazil was, Lewis in a vastly superior car, straight line speed-wise. Max hanging on. The fact he hung on for 58 laps. Nobody else could hang on for more than 3 against Lewis. And I think that, of course, he was braking right at the limit. So did Lewis. If he'd have done what Checo did on the first lap, he'd have undercut him and let Max go wide. So I don't quite understand why you're being so hard on Max. Hard racing, it's to be fair racing. We want it to be dealt with on the circuit, not in the steward's room. A fair playing field and a fair, clean fight, across these last 3 races. We've had a phenomenal championship. The fact that we're still here, and we're taking they haven't had this in 7 years. That's why Toto's getting twitchy. That's why he's swearing at the camera. That's why he's throwing a few F-bombs around. And it's fantastic. We've got them under pressure. It's what the sport's been crying out for. And rather than criticising Max, you should be encouraging him. It's a technical sport as well, and I think that we've seen an exponential growth in straight line speed over the last 2 years. It's fact. Just look at the stats. Look at the straight line speeds that Mercedes have been able to achieve in the last 2 races. 14 Ks in Mexico. They were quicker than us in a straight line. 27. Obviously come up with, in our mind, they've obviously found a clever solution with their rear wing. The question is it legal? And that's for the FIA. The FIA, and obviously, they have a limited amount of resource versus you've got a whole bunch of big brains in this paddock versus probably 4 people at the FIA. So, of course, the teams, we do it towards Mercedes and we get it back with interest coming the other way. But that's what the nature of the sport is and the technical competition that makes it so fascinating. I think there's some very, very clear evidence from the last 4 or 5, well, basically since Hungary. There's been a step change in straight line speed, which has gradually been getting greater and greater. So, but look, that's for you guys to go and do the research. I'm not frustrated. I think that the FIA, look, they're under pressure. They know there's more focus on them than probably any time in the last 8 years, and they've just got to make sure that we've got a level playing field, that it's a clean, fair fight with nobody advantaged or disadvantaged through a spurious use of the technical regs between now and the end of the year. We can't go and prod a wing because you get a 50 grand fine for that. So that's down to the FIA. They don't get a fine when they have the ability to check all aspects of the car, and that's their job, and that's what we trust in them to do. And if we, as a team, as any other team, would feel don't forget we were going to get protest, I think, in Azerbaijan over our rear wing. If we feel that there's something happening, and it might not be here, you know, what we're not as concerned about this race as particularly Jeddah and the new Abu Dhabi, because there's a massive dependency on straight line speed.
Thanks a lot for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you.